1 John. We have learned that there's some interesting things going on in Asia Minor. We have been in Asia Minor before when we studied the book of Galatians. And we saw the things that Paul ran into as he was dealing with a church that had a heavy influence from the Jewish background and the law. And now many years later, matter of fact a whole generation later, we've got the Apostle John dealing with what's going on in Asia Minor now. But things have happened between those two times. The temple's been destroyed. Judaism, as they knew it, is gone. And now other influences have come into the church that have caused some problems. Things that have taken them away from looking at Jesus. And that's what John is dealing with. There are some people who claim to have special knowledge. There are people who claim that they've reached a certain level of enlightenment. And that if you're really lucky and if you really try hard and if they help you out, that you can get there too. And in that, they've incorporated some things from their background. Some Greek philosophical ideas. Mostly their own sinful nature. Things that make them feel important and better than anybody else. And we've seen John deal with this in the first 2 chapters. Talking about the fact that God hasn't hidden anything at all. God is light, in Him there's no darkness. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing that you're going to find later on in life about God that said, oh, I didn't know that. I guess I had to get to a certain level. No, he said, you look at Jesus, you see God. But there are some people that want to take the focus off of Jesus. And there's some people that want to do that because it's difficult to love certain groups of people. People that aren't like you, don't look like you, don't talk like you, are not in your same economic strata, or live on a different border, or speak a different language, or, as we saw a couple weeks ago, are a different age group. The different generations thing. Either they're older and you think they just completely lost touch, or they're younger and they look at you and think you've completely lost touch. These are the people that are making it hard. These are the people that we have to rely on God to teach us to love. Because it's not a new command, he said. It's an old command. It's always been around. Love. Love. And you're going to know that you're followers of Jesus because of the way you love. That brings us to chapter 2 of 1 John. And we looked at this briefly on the week before Christmas. We're going to look at it again in verse 15. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For everything in the world, the cravings of the sinful man, the lust of his eyes, and his pride in possessions, comes not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires pass away, but the man who does the will of God lives forever. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Letting the author define their own terms. And how confusing it would be. You know, do not love the world, God so loved the world. And that He gave His only begotten Son. Well, and do not love. I mean, it says you're supposed to love all the time. No, he said there are things that are going to drain your ability to love the way the Father loves. And that's what we're after. That's what we're after. Individually, as a family, as a church. We are after completely redefining love to match the love the Father has. So, here's some things that are going to get in the way. If you spend your energy, which is what love is, it's an expending of energy, isn't it? Right? If you don't put any energy into the relationship, do you really love that person? No. Love expends energy. Hate expends energy, doesn't it? Okay? If you take your essence, your energy, and if you either hate somebody, and you know when you hate somebody because you're aware when they come in the room, and you feel this thing between the two of you, and you genuinely wish things for the other person, and you are expending energy. Well, love is the same way. You are expending energy, desiring what's best for somebody else. He said you can take all that energy and you can waste it on something. Loving the world, or the things in the world. And then he defines those things. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the boastful pride of life. Okay? The things that the world tells you need to have. And there's always something more. Solomon wrote, he said, does the eye ever get enough of seeing? Okay, I can close my eyes, I've seen enough. You know, sometimes we even watch the same movie more than once, don't we? And we remember it, but we still watch it. The eye does not get enough of seeing. The lust of the eyes, the things that you think you can have. And it's different than just enjoying. I mean, if you look out there and you see the creeks, man, it's beautiful. The other day we were out there working, and there was a huge flock of those egrets. White. I've never seen that many. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Can you own that? No, you can't. But the lust of the eye is telling you you can. And the boastful pride of life, the things that I own and possess. There's something about our sinful nature that you can put into these categories, and John has put them in the categories, I didn't, right? There are the lust of the eyes. Lust, interesting word. Old Testament word, right? Don't lust after your neighbor's wife. Don't lust after your neighbor's horse, cow, house, automobile. Well, no, that's only the newer translations. Okay. But you get the idea of wanting what somebody else has. Not wanting them to have it, but wanting it to be yours. The lust, there is no end. How can you ever have enough? There's a new reality show on some people that have problems with hoarding things. And it is, there is a name for that. It's an illness. Okay? Can you ever have enough? And you get into that thing that if I had a little bit more, then I would be happy, content, secure. Well, there's only one place to go for happiness, contentment, and security. And that's to Jesus. But if you get your eyes off of Jesus and you start thinking, if I just had a little bit more, then I would be happy, I would be content, I would be secure. Just a little bit more. One of my favorite, and you'll never hear the songwriter said, he wrote a song, said, all I ever wanted was a little more. All I ever wanted was a little more. The lust of the eye. The lust of the flesh. We talked about those five senses. We've talked about this before. Remember, you guys have them: hearing, seeing, that's seeing. Hearing, seeing, smelling, feeling, tasting. All five of them, right? There's a quiz for you back to your science class. God gave you those things to serve you. If you turn that around and live to serve those things, you're talking about the lust of the flesh. If your life comes in what you eat, or if your life is about what you smell, or if your life is about what you experience physically, then you are in trouble. Because there is no loving in that situation. There's only a trap. There's only a sink pit, a quicksand. If only I had this experience. If only I could hear this music more. If only if I could just have one more bite of this. I I got up today because I want to taste mocha coffee. All right? That's the reason I get up out of bed. That's pretty sad, isn't it? I guarantee it helps you stay out of bed, but that shouldn't be the reason you get up out of bed. Why do you get up out of bed? What gets you going? What gets you going for 2011? Well, if it's not Jesus, then you are wasting your ability to love. The love of the Father doesn't exist in you. If you get lost, if you take your eyes off of Jesus being the reason, the way, the truth, the life, like we talked about with kids, the love of the Father doesn't exist. And then the boastful pride of life. This idea that we can own something. This is mine. No matter what it is. This is mine. We end up teaching a child, okay, this is your body, you take care of it. Well, that's true. It is your body, right? Okay. Is it really, though? No. And what happens to that body that you were so proud of before? Yeah, I got a new contact in. One is supposed to help me read. And every week I go back and she said, well, let's try a different one. And my world looks a little bit different. Okay, and you'll see me look at this and I'll your body changes, and it's not forever. The text says these things pass away. Whether it's your good looks, whether it's your good humor, whether it's your sharp brain, that you're so smart, or you're so talented, it passes away. Or whether you own things. Yes, when I died, I owned all of this stuff. I own this land. I know. I have this piece of paper that says, Gary owns this piece of land. And then we realize that, oh, actually the bank still owns that. Okay. Gary loses his job and the bank gets it again. Or something dramatic happens and the whole thing changes, the whole system changes. The idea that you can own, that you can possess, the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, the boastful pride of life, all the things that are mine, pass away. And if you expend all your energy loving those things, the love of the Father isn't in you. You're not going to be able to love people who are not you, or not like you. You won't even be able to love yourself, to be honest. If you get your focus on that stuff, you cannot love yourself because you can't own enough. There's never enough. You can't experience enough. There's never enough. You can't eat enough. You can't sleep enough. That's not what your life is about. Your life is about learning the way the Father loves you, the way your Creator loves you, the things that we celebrate every week. That's what your life is about. Your life is about Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And no one comes... If you don't have Jesus as your middle image of God, then you're wrong. You're off. If you think God is like you, you are wrong. You're off. If you think, well, if I were God, I would do this. Bite your tongue. Okay? Because God is holy. You're not like God. God is God. We're not. Thank God. Okay? That's why we come and worship every week. We acknowledge that God is God and I'm not. But if we expend all our energy and all our emotions loving the things that pass away, the love of the Father isn't in you. And the text says, the man who does the will of God lives forever. Forever. You have an eternal eternal relationship with your Creator. You can look forward to an eternal relationship with your Creator. It's not going to end at the end of this calendar year, or the end of this season, or the end of the decade. Our 2012 is coming up, huh? Our Mayan friends. Right? Well, the calendar had to end sometime. Okay. Hey, do we have to fear the end? Do we have to fear death? No. Do we have to fear the fact that our body wears out? And that the body of the people that we love wears out? No, because we live forever. We love things that don't pass away. 2011. We're going to learn to love the way the Father loves. We're going to ask God every week to challenge us to love the way that He loves. To love the things that He loves. To love the people the way that He loves people. To accept, to forgive the way that He accepts and forgives. Things that don't pass away. Things that aren't tied to a calendar. Things that aren't tied to the fact that our bodies are wearing out. Our eyesight is going. Our glasses need to be changed. Or we need another appointment with a doctor or another specialist. Or the fact that we might lose somebody, a dear friend, a family member, or that we might even face our own death this year does not shake us up. Because we love Jesus. Not the things that pass away. And because of what He's done for us, that we celebrate every week. That sacrifice. That showed how much God cares. That takes away the sin in our life. That takes away all the things that we have to worry about. Takes away all the mistakes and all the times that we've messed up with our kids, and all the times we've messed up with our parents, and all the times we've messed up with our spouse, and all the times that we've messed up with our neighbor. And it takes that away and makes us clean, whole people. All the time.